Hey now, cats, we're back again this week on the Balls from Ellwood show. It is the Halloween season, and anybody that knows Balls knows this is his time of the year, cats. So on this show, we got a lot to cover. We got a new Depravity Corner with this beautiful lady right here. But you might know her. I mean, how silly of me. If you're just tuning in, you never seen the show before, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. I'm Balls. This is Xtina. We like punk rock, we like horror movies, we like ska, we like, true crime. Mm-hmm. And that's primarily what the show's about, and it will always be about. We like to talk about that stuff, and,
That's our passion, man.
Our passion. And, sometimes we'll bitch about shit, sometimes we'll have little bits and sketches, but mostly it's, kind of about that. So if you like that shit, tune on in. I'm just going to get right into it. The whole purpose of this show this week, cats, is I know during the holiday season, people were always going, Balls, you watch horror movies all throughout the year. Like, what's the big deal about Halloween? Well, it's a very special thing because, I can't even explain it. It's just a thrill in the air. It's the way things look and, the
smell.
The smell of Halloween.
Yes.
But people also ask me, can you recommend some scary movies that we can watch during Halloween? So I'm going to give you a quick rundown of things that I like to watch during the holiday season. It's not odd of me to watch things throughout the year, like I said, but these are things that I enjoy. I'm going to tell you quickly a little bit about that you might like, turn you on to some of the stuff. Then I'm going to turn the show over to this beautiful lady, and she's going to give you the most fucked up story of the week. We're going to call it a day, cats. We're not going to work ourselves into the ground today. We're just going to give you a quick little how do you do and get the fuck out of here. So, hey,
sounds good.
Why not? So right into it. When I was a kid, I liked this movie called The Gate. It's a, kid-friendly movie. It's a heavy subject. They knock down a tree in their backyard, and they find the gate to hell, and there's all these little monsters and stuff. And I know it sounds frightening. It's pretty frightening for a kid's movie, but I grew up with that. I always thought that was really cool. Speaking of other kids' movies, I've always been a fan of Ray Bradbury. I read his books growing up. He had a TV show that I really, really dug. I mean, and they did, of all things, you know how my feelings at Disney are, but back when I was a kid, they actually weren't assholes. I actually enjoyed the cartoons. I still like the old animated stuff. I'm not that much of a curmudgeon, but they did their first attempt at a horror film. And it was called Something Wicked This Way Come. It was based off a Ray Bradbury book. And it's really good. It's about this carnival. It's about these kids. And this carnival comes to town, and there's this guy named Mr. Dark. And he comes, and everybody gets infatuated with this carnival. And then people start losing their souls, and these boys figure out what's going on, and they have to stop Mr. Dark. So, pretty cool. That always made an impression on me growing up, cats. If you like slashers out in the middle of the woods, I mean, everybody can watch any given Friday the 13th. That's a staple for Halloween. But I prefer a little movie called Madman. It's in the same vein. It's about this big hillbilly fucker. They hang him, and he's such a bad motherfucker, he breaks the rope. And now if you say his name out in the woods, he'll come and kill you. So, I mean, it's pretty much that simple. So, nice little slasher in the vein of Friday the 13th. Madman Mars, check them out. The movie's called Madman. Another cool little flick I like is called Scarecrows. trying to give you stuff. Everybody knows the staples of stuff. I mean, a lot of I'll quickly glance over them, but I'm trying to give you things that you may not have seen so much. I mean, you go on, TNT or any of them, they're going to play all your franchise films, your Friday the 13th, your Scream, Nightmare on Elm Street, So,
Let me give you a little unique, off the beaten path stuff.
I mean, of course those films are great. You're going to watch them, Halloween, all that shit. You're going to watch it. I don't even have to tell you about that because that's pretty much mainstream at this point. And those are shit you watch during Halloween. Here's some stuff that you might not have heard of. I like this movie called Scarecrows. And it's about these bank robbers. And they just rob a bank. And they're trying to find a place to go secluded to hole up and divvy up the money. And they just so happen to pick a farm that's haunted by killer scarecrows.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, most people haven't. It's really, you should seek it out. It's really spooky. It's got I love things that are dreadful and have atmosphere.
Yeah.
And it's perfect for the holiday season. That being said, another movie that I grew up on that I absolutely love, Night of the Demons. It takes place during Halloween. Has Linnea Quigley, from Return of the Living Dead fame. And one of her most infamous roles, I think. It takes place, Angela, she's kind of like a goth chick. She's having a banger at the old Hall House. It's like a old mortuary where they decide to have this party, and they all get possessed by demons, and wackiness ensues, kids. So, I mean, if that doesn't, include, it sounds like a party.
That's
so,
right.
Soundtrack's really cool. I don't know what else to tell you. One of my favorite anthologies, I'm a fan of anthologies of all time. One of my favorite anthologies, which has quickly become a phenomenon. Everybody seems to love it. And
classic.
I'm very happy because, I really, it's really enjoyable to me.
Yeah,
it embraces the whole feeling, I think, of Halloween very well. It's fun. It's not
Trick or treat. We didn't mention that. We might want to tell them.
Well, I was trying to get to it, but I got so much love for it.
You're very verbose, and I didn't want to forget. So.
I just get so. I love this movie so much. I just talk over myself because it's fun. There's a bunch of different movies. There's a great wraparound story. There's a great cast. Plus, there's a little icon. He's become an icon now. Sam, a little PJ. You might see him.
Yeah. At horror conventions, all the little kids dress up.
Little pajamas, and you got the little sackcloth face. Great movie, Cats. I give it 5 out of 5. In fact, it's one of my favorites. I never miss watching it every year. And as far as horror comedy goes, Cats, you can't go wrong with Return of the Living Dead 1 and 2. As you know, that's about the government drops a canister of trioxyl. It's a gas, and it starts bringing all the dead back to life, and there's punks in the cemetery partying, and wackiness ensues. So, I mean, that's a classic. Always do 1 and 2 is the best. I wouldn't really check out anything else. As you know, everybody knows Nightmare on Elm Street, all the other franchise movies, Scream, Friday the 13th, all that jazz. But love him or hate him, Cats. His films are very polarizing. He's a polarizing dude to begin with. You can't take away from Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses. It's definitely encapsulates the spirit of Halloween. It's takes place on Halloween. It's just kind of that fun vibe. So I mean, I know it's kind of a rip-off of Texas too, but what are you gonna do? I enjoy it. I watch it every Halloween. It's a fun, fast, quick little horror movie. So
yeah.
When you think of the granddaddy of the anthologies, I mean, what comes to my mind is Creepshow 1 and 2. Great stories. They still hold up strong. You got the series on Shudder now, which is great. You can't go wrong. If you like anthologies, bang. Romero, Stephen King working together. That's all I have to say.
Good stuff.
Now, when I was a kid, I had always had this vision of the tall man hovering over my bed. He's going to get me for Halloween, and I love that. I love that feeling. Phantasm is one that you should go to if you want to. If you want that feeling, it's definitely got a great Halloween vibe to it. I watch it every year. I like them all. The last one was a little shitty, but we'll forget about that. But moving right along. Here's a movie that I don't think ever gets enough love, credit. I've been championing it. I've been fighting for it for 20 years now. And everyone's like, man, there's no Michael Myers in it. Brr. So get over it. In fact, he is actually on a television set that's featured in the beginning of the film. So technically he is kind of in it for a second. Nerd. But Halloween 3, cats. I got 2 words for you. Tom Atkins. That's all there should be. You know, great story, creepy premise. Tom Atkins, sign me up. And yeah, anybody that knows Balls Cats knows he loves the Evil Dead trilogy. I love the TV show. Rest in peace. Loved Bruce growing up. He's been one of my idols growing up. You can't go wrong. They're all good. Halloween, you know, you can't have Halloween without Deadites, Cats. What do you think?
No, not at all.
And what about you? Like, what did you do for Halloween? Was there any staples around your house, or?
We weren't really that into Halloween in my house, but you know, I watched the Thriller video from Michael Jackson. That was yeah, that was good. That was my Halloween treat. That's what scared me as a kid. Oh, you know what else scared me is the Witch and Wizard of Oz. That was my scariness for.
I'll get you, my pretty.
Yeah.
Little dog too.
Not a fan. Not a fan. The blankie went over the TV every time.
You know, since you mentioned Michael Jackson's Thriller, I have to say I do still declare that the best music video ever made. You know, choreography-wise, costume-wise,
Absolutely.
Vincent Price-wise, directed by Joe Dante. You can't get much better, man. Like that. Again, this is what this show's about. Things that encapsulate that feeling, that spirit of Halloween, and it doesn't get much better than Thriller.
Sure doesn't. You know, and for those really lame that grew up in the 90s, there's always the Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen's Double Double Toil and Trouble.
Now that's frightening. That would scare me more than anything on this list.
Yeah,
but,
probably.
Since we're talking about things that actually, you know, you encapsulate Halloween, the spirit. I mean, I grew up every Halloween. I would love to watch Charlie Brown. It's the Great Pumpkin. You know, nobody believes Linus. You know, is he real? Is he not? I mean, what a great show. I still love the Peanuts.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Nightmare Before Christmas. I mean, is it a Christmas movie? Is it a Halloween movie? I watch it both times.
Yeah,
so I mean, it's
both.
Tim Burton. It's a very visually beautiful film. The songs are catchy. Oogie Boogie's my man. I think he's hysterical. I love that. Beetlejuice. I could watch it any day of the week, but I mean, I like watching that during Halloween. A movie that I really think is dark, gritty, and has that feeling is The Crow. I love watching The Crow during Halloween. It kind of got this dark, gritty feeling going on. I mean, it's
eerie, like.
You know, it just has this mood about it, and the soundtrack and everything comes together, and perfect for the background of a Halloween party or anything else. I mean,
Absolutely.
A lot of people don't realize there's tons of great made-for-television horror films that I like to watch, and those usually came out around the Halloween time when it don't seem like they do much of that anymore. Everything's so, you know, everything's so digital, and you know, so the network television doesn't.
And shit.
Yeah, network television doesn't really try anymore. But back they used to put out some good stuff, and there was a movie called The Midnight Hour with LeVar Burton and Sherry Belafonte, which was Harry Belafonte's daughter.
Yeah.
They were getting ready for the dance. I believe this is on DVD finally, and they accidentally bring about zombies during their dance.
Oh, jeez.
There's Guillermo del Toro did a remake of this film when I was a kid. It was a TV movie called Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. There's not a drop of blood in this thing. I think if there is, it's very minimal. And it's, when I was a kid, it was frightening. They'd replay it at Halloween, and it would scare the living bejesus out of me. Dark Night of the Scarecrow, kind of a revenge. You know, there's kind of a retarded guy, and he befriends this little girl. And like the town thinks like something weird's going on, but here they're just friends. Okay. So they hunt him down and they stick him on a stake, and they dress him up like a scarecrow and they kill him.
Oh wow!
So then he comes back for vengeance, and it's Larry Drake, the guy that was on L.A. Law, and he was in Dr. Giggles. But yeah, that's a classic cast. If you haven't seen it, it's a great, probably one of the best horror television movies ever made, I would think. But I mean, since we're talking about television, I mean, there's great series you can check out. Like we said, digitally, you could probably check out Tales from the Crypt now. Those were always classic. You got Tales from the Dark Side, you got Friday the 13th series, you got Monsters, you got Outer Limits. Nothing beats the Twilight Zone. I mean, that alone you could keep you occupied for 20 Halloweens. But and I mean, newer things. I mean, the Conjuring series seems like it's been a series that's really proven itself to be a horror movie powerhouse. Rightfully so. I mean, I love watching myself. Oh my god.
Oh man.
Cut.
Okay.
Anybody that knows Balls is a humongous Ghostbusters fan. I grew up as a kid, a little fat kid, making Ghostbusters proton packs out of sweeper bags and hardware. That's probably why I'm so, cool.
Yeah.
That's where I made it in life.
Hey, in your defense, you did not dress up as a Ghostbuster with a proton pack this year and go to the Comic-Con, as many 40 to 50 something year old men did, in fact, do. Anyway.
Well, honey, I do have this little thing. It's called, I don't know, pride. But
maybe, yeah.
I was still there. Which I regret nothing.
That's right.
Ernie Hudson was a boss. But I mean, other than that, Ghostbusters is a great vibe, cats. I mean, it's probably one of the best horror comedies ever made. It gets deep with the end of the world and things like that. It gets spooky, but every time it's spooky, it's funny too. It never takes itself too seriously. You can watch it 1,000 times, which believe me, I have, and you're always going to catch some subtle nuance that'll make you laugh, or some line that you never caught before. So, that being said, Rocky Horror seems to be a staple for the Halloween season. I mean, it's one of those things like crowd participation. I mean, that really takes it to the next level. As a film, I mean, Tim Curry is definitely the draw, but if you go and you see it and you actually participate, and all the squirt guns, the all crowd participation stuff, it can be lots and lots of fun. I love Rocky Horror. Mm-hmm. I watch the Munsters throughout the season. I watch that every day practically. I love the Munsters. Peter Jackson, before he was making all these Lord of the Rings films, I knew him as a horror movie director, and he made a lot of films that I hold near and dear. Frighteners with Michael J. Fox is a great Halloween movie. Mm-hmm. There's a movie called Dead Alive over here, but over there in New Zealand it was called Brain Dead. Probably one of the goriest and funniest movies you'll ever see. Check that out, cats. What about Autopsy of Jane Doe?
Oh, that's great.
I think you can see that on streaming now. It's on a lot of the sites. It's a slow burn film, but I gotta say, there's really no blood in it hardly. Mm-mm. It's atmosphere, it's acting. All these things come together and make a truly terrifying film. So if you're looking for something that's not a gore fest and they just want to give you the chills, this is the movie, cats. Check it out for sure. Absolutely. We could go back to old Alfred Hitchcock with Psycho. Anthony Perkins' performance alone is why you want to see this film. I mean, look at all the things that spun out of it. Bates Motel, dozens of sequels. Well, I mean, not dozens, but tons of sequels, and rightfully so. Fright Night is a favorite of mine. I grew up on that movie. I mean, probably one of the best vampire films I think ever. Scream, you could love it, you could hate it, you could talk shit on it, but there was a lull in the 90s where horror really wasn't so much as acceptable as now. In fact, it was kind of going through a dry period. Wes Craven come out with Scream, reinvigorated the whole genre again. Everybody was all about horror again, man. Everybody was piggybacking off it, making slasher films, and he really, really jump-started it again. And
opened it back
whether
up.
You like it or hate it, I mean, I think the sequels are kind of shitty, but the first one still holds up, man. It's still a good flick.
Absolutely.
Lost Boys, what can I say, man? Classic. I love the Lost Boys. Watch that. Insidious, in the same vein as Conjuring, they've come a long way. They've really kind of taken a more modern audience, and those are good too. I like those. Kind of reinvented the haunted house movie. I like movies that I can connect with the characters with. This next one I don't think gets a lot of love. Honestly, there isn't a lot of good werewolf films to begin with. I like Dog Soldiers. I like American Werewolf in London. This is probably one of the only other ones I really dig. And it's a heartfelt performance. It's a coming-age tale with a werewolf story wrapped around it. Ginger Snaps. Definitely check that out. This next movie is near and dear to my heart. I'm passionate, as you know, about all this stuff, but I think this is a 5-star film, whether you like horror or not. It's about loss and feelings and emotions, and being alone, feeling alone. And it's about this kid named Oscar. He's a latchkey kid. His mom and him are kind of estranged. He has no friends. He has really nobody to confide in. He's depressed. He's a little kid. He gets picked on, bullied. until he meets his friend Ely, and she teaches him how to stand up for himself and to, pretty much how to live.
You sold me. I want to see it.
But here's the catch. Just so happens his friend is, a couple 1,000-year-old vampire. So, in the form of a 13-year-old girl.
Okay. All right, cool.
But, seriously, it's a very beautiful film. But once you see it, a 5-star film. Incredible. And I was talking about Tales from the Crypt earlier, TV series. How could you forget their first movie, Demon Knight, with Billy Zane? I mean, that's... You could throw that in during any Halloween.
He made that movie, I tell you.
Yeah, we talked to him, and I tell you what, it was shit. That script was shit until Billy Zane got his hands on it. Mm-hmm. So all you Zaniacs, you just you calm down.
Don't you forget it.
Don't ever forget. But that being said, my love of Vincent Price. I love The Abominable Dr. Phibes. In fact, I love quoting. I love quoting. I'll be at work sometimes, and I quote things from it. I'll be like, "Nah, I've killed her. 5 shall die. 5 eternities in doom." And what it is about Vincent Price's wife dies from medical malpractice. So he comes back and he starts killing all the doctors with the plagues of the Bible. So that's a classic. I watch that pretty much every Halloween. I love it. That being said, moving right along, I don't want to bore you to death here, but House on Haunted Hill, that was a remake of an old Vincent Price movie that Dark Castle did. Jeffrey Rush plays Vincent Price. He challenges people from all walks of life to come stay in his haunted house, and if they could stay the night without getting scared and leaving, he gives them, I think it's like an absorbent amount of money, like $100,000.
Wow.
And it's pretty cool, man. So moving right along, in the same bit, there used to be a guy named William Castle. He'd do all kinds of gimmicky things to get people in the audience. One of my favorite old directors did a movie named Mr. Sardonicus, and I remember seeing this late on Chiller Theater when I was a kid. And Guy Rolfe has a real twat of a wife. His dad wins the lottery, dies, they bury him, and she wants him to dig his dad's corpse up.
Hell yeah! Get that money.
In the dollar bill, y'all. So in the process of him getting that money, he opens his dad's corpse, the coffin, and seeing him frightens him so bad that it gives him what is called a sardonic grin, and it freezes his face. So he can't get rid of it, and he's like a real, pretty boy, and he becomes hateful and mean, and I don't want to tell you the whole movie, but here's the thing about William Castle. My favorite thing about it is, he'd always do this thing where, for this particular film, he shot 2 endings. One where Mr. Sardonicus gets away, and one where he gets punished.
Oh.
So he did this new fangled thing where he would tally the score up in the audience, people would raise their hand, and who wants him punished? Who wants him to get away? And then by some weird thing, they'd figure it out, and they would play the ending that would go to each one. Here, there was never no fucking second ending shot, because everybody knew you want him fucking punished, so I thought that was brilliant. So
that's funny.
Black Sabbath, probably best anthology film with Creepshow ever made. There's lesbianism. There's prank calls. There's Vertilax, and there's Boris Karloff, and there's drops of water with witches and all kinds of scary shit. You'll love it, cats. Wow. The Strangers. How can we not forget this, cats?
Yes,
last year, you tell them.
Close to our hearts. We dressed as the Strangers. We, being Balls and I and my 10-year-old daughter, and we went around the town. We were a hit. Everybody loved us. The neighbors had no clue who we were, but they thought it was great. And they thought, what a cute, creepy little family. Yeah, that's it. Creepy, cute family. Great. It was good. We'll put a picture up.
I'll throw a still up. You'll love it, cats. Halloween. Synonymous with, what do you call them? Like urban legends. I always thought this was cool because Candyman was always a cool urban legend, because every town has an urban legend, like Mary Black, you say the name 5 times in the mirror and she'll get you. So that's why I just thought Candyman was so cool, and it's kind of a twisted, fucked up love story in a horror movie, and they made Sweet Hate together. That's why I love it. I'm looking forward to the remake, as I said, which I don't look forward to too many remakes, but I think it's in the right hands. And the last 2, Colobus, it's kind of a take on the Big Brother kind of reality things
Interesting.
with a twist. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. How can you not have fun with this classic? I mean, it's goofy, it's dopey, and it can be scary too. I mean, they're spinning people on the cotton candy, and
Wow.
they're eating them. So I mean,
Wow.
so there you go, cats. I hope this gives you a couple little ideas of shit that you'd like to see during the holiday.
Well, and if you're not into super scary movies and you want a romantic zombie comedy, you can always check out Warm Bodies. It's very touching film about zombie love.
I haven't seen it. I heard it was good. I'll have to check it out with you one night.
You gotta watch out.
That's nice too. I mean, if you don't want something super scary, but you kind of want to get in the mood a little, you go with Xtina's pick and check that out. So, hopefully, we gave you some ideas this week, cats, of things to watch in the coming month. I know I'll be doing all this. If you have any suggestions for us, hit us up at the comments underneath after you smash that subscribe button and you like and you share with your goofy aunt that lives down the street that smells like chicken noodle soup and feet.
Jeez.
Anybody, spread the word. That's all I'm trying to say. So hopefully we gave you some ideas. And now it's time, actually, for the most important part of the show. You know her. You love her. It's now time for Xtina and her Depravity Corner. Do you have a fucked up story for us this week? I've been waiting all week.
Of course I do, unfortunately. As always, I have a fucked up story.
I can't wait to hear it.
I bet. And this is real recent. In fact, I don't even know if the bodies are cold yet. It's been 2 days since we found out that in Parsons, Kansas, folks, Parsons, Kansas. Yeah, pretty much. What transpired was a man, Zachary Castorina. Sounds fancy, eh? He decided to hold his 7-year-old daughter hostage in a house, barricaded. The police came, SWAT situation ensued, on the megaphone, like, come out with your hands up and nobody gets hurt. And I guess what happened was he called 911, I think, and said he was suicidal and he was going to kill him and his daughter. Well, what we come to find out is not only was that an issue, but the reason he was suicidal and was going to kill his daughter and is holding everybody up holding them up in this house, because he just left another house where he shot a man in the face twice. But that man didn't die.
Whoa!
How do you get shot in the face twice and not die? Now, from all my readings, this dude he's still in the hospital. He's had various surgeries already, but he can still see, he can still hear, he's communicating with his family. Communicating how, I think by, just shaking his head, of course. Like, I don't even know if he's lost the ability to talk. I would imagine that you would need a lot of rehabilitation. But, so far so good. So let's pray for him. And his name is Josh Bode. So we want to shout out to Josh Bode in Kansas and pray for him and hope that he gets recovered. Now, why on earth, what does Josh and his shot in the face have to do with the guy and the daughter and the whole shebang? Apparently, this man went and shot this dude in the face, left there, went home, took his daughter, held her up, says, I'm going to shoot her and kill her and I'm going to kill myself. And the cops, tried their best to defer the situation. Unfortunately, didn't go so well. They finally busted in after so long and found both dad and daughter dead of gunshot wounds to the head. The reason all this transpired is because this Zach guy who killed his daughter and himself was in the process of a divorce. And you'll never, I bet you can't guess who his wife's with, the guy who he shot in the head twice.
I would have never guessed
Yeah,
that.
you'd have never guessed that, right? Here's how I don't understand. They've moved on. You need to move on too. You're apparently lucky you even are allowed to see your child. Be happy with that. And you're going to kill her? To what? Make this woman suffer? Because you are a psycho? I don't understand. I mean, but I'll never understand the psychotic brain, apparently. So, it's very sad, very unfortunate, and, you know, these people are going to have tons of medical bills. There's GoFundMe's out for funerals, and there's this, and for this dude's hospitalization, and I'll try to remember to link the GoFundMe links and stuff, because I think that's important. Like, those are important. That's why GoFundMe should exist, for moments like this, folks, because, you know, then the world can get involved and help people. That's what it's for. It's not because you need, you know, a new tricycle or some shit, right? Come on now.
What if I need a new pair of undies?
Well, you're going to have to go find you some work, buddy. So, I don't know, man. What do you think? I mean, have you ever had you've had situations where, you know, you've had an ex-wife and there was cheating and there was this. Did you ever feel the need to go and shoot the guy in the head? Why would you shoot the guy in the head, first of all?
No, I wanted to shoot her in the head.
Right. Like, I don't understand that. And again, I don't know that these people were in a cheating situation. It sounds like they were legit, like, estranged, according now, whether that's officially separated or you just left her for whatever. Who cares? You don't kill people. That's the bottom line. But, yeah, I mean, why does everybody blame the other person, the other dude, the other woman? Like, it's not their fault. It's really not their fault. Because, again, you don't know what bullshit they're getting fed.
This is true too, but I mean,
know?
I do believe there's people out there that know and they still don't care.
Well, that's true
so
too.
they
Right.
deserve to get shot in the face, I believe.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think I would have loved to seen, you know, a couple buckshot in her face. I would have loved it. I probably would have came in my pants actually.
No, lordy.
In fact, I still feel that way. So
Yeah.
if somebody told me, you know, they found a couple buckshot and, you know, my ex-wife, I'd be like, God damn, that's awesome. I'd have a we'd have a party. I'd go to Red Lobster.
All right, Red Lobster. Nothing celebrates death like Red Lobster dinner.
Oh yeah, man. That's a yummy, yummy thing.
It is a yummy thing. So, once again, we're here to tell you, can we please try not to kill the kids?
Yeah, don't
Again.
kill the kids.
Jeez
I mean,
Louise, and what did the poor kid have to do with anything? And can you imagine her last minutes, you know, are in her dad's arms, who's supposed to be her protector, and he shoots her. And it's just disgusting.
That's a pretty bad parent.
You could say that again.
That's a pretty bad parent.
Yeah, okay. Very good. Very literal you are, Mr. Balls. Well, that concludes this week's Depravity Corner. We hope, well, I don't hope to bring you more depravity next week. However,
Don't listen. She
I
loves
know I
it.
will.
She loves
Yeah.
it.
I don't love that it happens, but I'm fascinated that it happens. It's so, it's just so
She
bizarre.
loves reporting it. She
I
loves
do.
it.
I mean, I kind of do.
In fact, for those of you that don't even know our show, I used to hear it all the time to the point where I'm like, you know what? Just save it.
That's how I got a spot on the show.
Yeah, it's how
Unintentionally.
save it. We'll do it once a week in the show because I can't stand hearing it every 15 minutes. So. But hey, it paid off because everybody loves hearing your Depravity Corner. So
Yay!
you're a hit.
Yay!
Well, that's all we have for you this week, cats. I hope we brought you some Halloween movies to check out. Hope we brought you a tale of love gone bad and, you know, what not to do whenever that happens. So, till next week, cats, peace and love, peace and love.
Peace and love.